Hey guys, so today's video I'm going to be showing a technique for doing long exposure photography without any lens filters. So it's kind of like software based long exposure rather than camera based or lens based long exposure. So this is a scene here. I came out one evening, it was nice light in the city, and I came out over here, not very far, like 20 minutes away, but there was a load of cloud over the specific scene, which is the sort of the game you play with landscape photography. You don't always get the best light, but I still thought it'd be a good example to show out this technique. There's still a little bit of light coming over from the side there, so I'm catching a little bit on the rocks. The composition overall, there's this nice feature rock in the center, and some clouds that are just touching the top of the frame, and there's some nice rolling waves coming in, so I'm going to try and smooth them out with the long exposure. So what you want to do is take lots of shots of the same scene on a tripod. You can use an intervalometer, or in this example I'm using an app in this Sony camera that lets me take a shot every 5 seconds or so. So now we've jumped into Lightroom now. This is all the shots I took in that little time lapse. There's 28 shots altogether. Let's give you a quick look at them here. You can see that they're nice and still. The rocks kept in the center there, and you can see the waves moving and the clouds are moving. That's the main two things that are sort of surrounding them. So what you first want to do is just select all of them like this, and go to Edit in, and then do Open as Layers in Photoshop. Now, depending on how many shots you took and how large the images are, it might take a little bit of time for it to load and start up Photoshop for you. After all the images have been loaded into Photoshop, you should see them all in the Layers panel. You can see them on the right here. So first of all, you want to select them all. So let's just select the top one here and hold down Shift and select the bottom one. Then you want to right click and then select Convert to Smart Object. This may take a little bit of time as well in terms of loading, but just wait for it to finish. After it's finished loading, we should be left with one image in the layer panel here, and it should have a little icon next to the preview here that tells us it's a smart object. So we just want to go over to the layer menu and go down to Smart Objects and then Stack Mode, and we want to select the mean stack mode, and just select that. It might take a little bit loading again, just wait for it to finish. So after that's finished loading, you should be left with a nice smoothed out image as if you've done a long exposure shot. So in this shot here, you can see that there's the waves on the front here been nice and smoothed out, and the clouds have been smoothed out quite a bit as well. Now, depending on how much smoothing you want, so this is like a very long exposure, the equivalent of a very long exposure. So if you want sort of a little bit more detail, say in the clouds, so it's not quite as smoothed out, you just combine less images at the beginning. So in my one I had 28 images, but if you want more of just an effect on the top, say for example, maybe you want to go down to maybe 10 images, or try 5 as well, just go try different amounts, and it'll be quicker for loading as well. But you can just experiment with different amounts of images depending on what kind of result that you want, and you can also combine different results. So let's say I took 28 images, and let's say I like the ocean here, so I could take this ocean part and redo the stack imaging, but with only 10 images to get a different sky, and just mask the two together to get a nice sky result combined with a nice water result. Here's the final image from using this stacking method. I used maybe 15 layer stacking method for the bottom half, and about 10 images for the top half, just to get the effect that I wanted. I hope you found this technique interesting and give it a go for some of your own images. And I appreciate it if you would like the video and subscribe to the channel if you like the type of content I'm making. Thanks!